Okay.
Okay, so I'm here today with my teammate, Emily Chapman. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
Good, thank you. So there's probably about 30 or so questions I want to ask you, so just answer them as honestly as you can.
Okay.
All right. What are the top three concerns aspects in your life? Top three concerns or aspects in your life?
Just in general?
In general.
Concerned aspects. I would say, just in general, probably making sure that I'm the best person that I can be. And then, in doing that, being there for people as much as possible, probably the second one. And then, third would also do everything I can to the best of my abilities.
Okay.
So.
All right. What are a few of your favorite foods?
Peanut butter, bananas, and what's the third one?
Just anything,
Yeah.
regardless of how healthy it is.
Probably just mixed nuts. I'd say trail mix.
Okay. What do you consider the healthiest foods?
Vegetables, lean protein.
How often do you eat your favorite foods?
Probably every day.
That's good. Do you ever crave big carbohydrate foods like pastas, pizza?
Sometimes, not really though.
Okay.
Because I don't usually eat those.
Why do you not usually eat them?
Because I'm gluten free.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so that's one of my questions is, please briefly describe your current diet or goal diet plan.
Yeah, currently, and I have been since I was about 3 years old, I've been on a gluten and dairy free diet. And when I was really young, I was on an even more strict diet. Like, certain things I couldn't eat, like peanut butter was one of those, bananas actually, food coloring, a bunch of things.
Would you consider eating those American comfort foods like macaroni and cheese and pizza and all those different types of things if they were made with healthier ingredients that are gluten-free? Would you consider eating them?
Yeah.
Okay. In what form do you most often eat your vegetables?
I would say stir-fried.
Okay.
Probably most often. Either that or boiled.
Oh my goodness, I'm sorry.
You're good.
I don't know how to make that quiet. Wow.
Is it on silent on the phone?
Yeah, I can do that. Okay, so how often do you cook with all-purpose flour?
Not that often. I think. Well, I use a gluten-free all-purpose flour, and I think the only time I use it is like every 2 or more weeks. I'll make gluten-free pancakes.
Okay. So you really never use regular flour?
Not really.
But gluten-free flour you use once every...
Like 2 or more weeks.
Okay.
And that's only to make pancakes.
Okay. What is your initial reaction or the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the words vegetable flour?
That's a thing?
That's perfect. Okay. Has the thought of freeze-dried vegetable flour ever crossed your mind?
No. I've never even heard of it before, so...
Well, it doesn't exist that I know of, so that's
okay.
probably why you haven't heard it.
That'd be cool. I don't know. I'd like to know how that would be, like, made, or what kind of vegetables are in the process of making that.
Okay.
Sounds somewhat similar to gluten-free flour.
Okay. All right, the next set of questions. When you consider flour substitutes, so substitutes for all-purpose flour, which substitutes do you usually think of?
Potato, millet. What else? I'm thinking of all sorts of things that are in gluten-free stuff now. Yeah, it's usually millet, potatoes. I feel like there's one more I'm thinking of. I can't think of it right now.
Almond flour, maybe?
That can be one.
Okay. Have you done or do you continually do research on flour substitutes before buying them?
No, actually.
No? You
No.
just...
Usually, for me, my mom did a bunch of research when I was little, so I know she knows any nutritional facts that I can ask her about.
Which flour substitutes, if any, do you purchase?
Millet has all-purpose flour, gluten-free.
That's the brand, right?
Yeah. Sometimes I've tried buckwheat, which is surprisingly gluten-free. Millet, you can use. There's a lot of products that are made out of millet.
Right.
So
where do you typically purchase them?
Sometimes at Publix. Most of the times, actually, at a local grocery store back home.
Okay. Do you know the name?
I do, except for at this moment.
Well, we can come back to it.
Yeah.
So your favorite brand probably is it's Millheads?
Yeah, Millhead.
Okay, yeah, I think I know which one that is. Why? Why is this your particular brand?
That's the one I've always been on since I was younger, and it seems to work really well in making things similar to, I guess, gluten stuff.
Could you see yourself using a vegetable-based flour in place of other flour in your cooking? For example, making like a cauliflower crust pizza or a broccoli crust pizza instead of using traditional white flour dough?
Yeah, I could see that, definitely.
All right, the next set of questions. Some of them might be kind of repetitive from the last set. Do you look for flour substitutes? And if so, where do you look?
Yes, and I would say in the Greenwise section or at local small produce or like shopping centers that I know have those kind of stuff.
Do you ever look online?
No, I do not look up online.
And then we went over which flour substitutes you use. You use the Millheads all-purpose.
Mm-hmm. Paradise Health Foods. That's what it's called. There we go.
So like a health food store.
Yeah.
Let me find that question again. Paradise
Health Foods.
Health Foods. Okay. Do you have is there a particular reason, we already went over that, why you select this brand? It's because it's what you're used to. Now here's a scenario. If you had to buy a 2-pound bag of flour, this is all-purpose flour that you can't eat, sorry, would you pay $3 for a name brand or $2 for the generic brand?
Probably 2.
The 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Any particular reason?
I'm not too picky.
Okay.
So if it's like I just kind of thought of that in the way of me shopping for anything else at Publix, I would probably go with the generic one.
Now here's another scenario. If the generic brand costs $2 and the name brand costs $3 for a 2-pound bag of all-purpose flour, how much would you spend for a 2-pound bag of your favorite substitute flour? So that would be your gluten-free flour. So if you're paying $2 for the generic of flour, $3 for the name brand of flour, what would you pay for your 2 pounds of your substitute? What would you be willing to pay?
4, maybe
4.
5.
Okay.
I know it's usually more expensive anyways.
Right.
And I don't have any other option.
Okay. All right. If a 2-pound, here's another scenario.
Yeah.
If a 2-pound bag of your Millheads flour costs $10.
Okay.
Would you pay $15 for roughly the same amount of vegetable flour?
Probably not.
Probably not. And why not?
That's a huge difference on price, I feel like. And then I am unfamiliar with the other product, of the vegetable product, so it'd be like spending a lot of money on maybe this will work.
Okay, so. That's a really good answer. Okay, so I already asked you, do you ever shop for groceries online?
No, not really.
No. Okay. What products do you most commonly buy online?
I don't actually shop online. So.
Never shop online?
No.
Okay. Any reason?
Never had it a need.
Okay. In the store, do you usually pay debit or credit or cash?
Credit. Sometimes.
Credit?
Sometimes debit, sometimes cash, but most of the time it's credit.
Even for groceries?
Yes.
Okay. If you were going to make a big purchase, not just like your grocery purchase, but some, let's say more than like $50 or something like that, or more than $30, who or if anyone do you consult before making that purchase?
Maybe my mom, since she's paying the bills.
Okay.
Just to make sure she's okay with that.
Now, let me go back to, is your credit card your card or is it your parents'?
It's under my name, but my parents pay for what I purchase stuff with through the credit card.
So a parent's account.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right. Last set of questions. When the cashier rings up your total cost at the grocery store, do you ever hesitate to pay it?
Every once in a while.
Okay.
If it's over 40, then I'm like,
And then, do you ever ask the cashier to remove something from your basket or your cart?
I have not yet.
No. Okay. Have you thought about it?
I have thought about it.
If you didn't have enough money to cover the cost, what would be the first thing you'd ask the cashier to remove from your cart?
I would ask him to remove anything that was for pleasure reasons.
Okay.
And then also the next step would be looking at what was not BOGO, because if it was BOGO, then I would keep it.
Okay. So whatever wasn't on sale.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you ever regret spending a few extra dollars on a name brand product?
Yes.
And just for the obvious reason of you spend a couple extra dollars on almost the same product. Okay.
Yeah, basically.
After you purchase something, do you continually think about the purchase?
Not for too long. If it was a lot, then I'll think through what exactly I bought that cost that much money, and then try figuring out how in the future I can, make it cheaper.
As in, you're considering talking about groceries?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What about, well, you don't purchase anything online, so we can skip that.
Yeah.
Are you someone who hangs on to receipts and keeps the tags on purchased items until you use them?
Yes.
And why is that? Do you often return things if you change your mind?
I often don't use everything that I purchase or that somebody purchases for me. So if I have it for a while and I realize I'm not using it at all, I will probably return it.
Okay. That's what I do.
Yeah.
How do you differentiate between a good purchase and a bad purchase?
One is if I use the product or good a lot after my purchase, then I'll be like, that was a need or a good way of spending my money. What's another thing? I don't know. If I gotta love good deals, I guess, or sales, then I was like, that was pretty good.
All right. Well, that has a lot of questions, but that is all I have for you. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
I am here today with my cousin Allison over the phone. Allison, I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. Just answer as honestly as you can.
All right, sounds good.
Okay. What are the top concerns or aspects of your life?
My top concerns or aspects of my life. Well, right now, as a recent graduate, it would be having a good job.
Okay.
Having safe and affordable housing, since I am new to Portland, Oregon. What else would be big concerns? And then also,
or just something that's really important.
Oh, yeah. Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what else would be top concerns?
Or aspect.
I think that's or what was the last thing?
Or aspect, just something important in your life.
Oh, I would say my relationship with God.
Okay.
And my relationship also with other people. So friendships are really important.
Great answer. Okay. What are a few of your favorite foods, regardless of how healthy or unhealthy they are?
I love Mexican food.
Okay.
I love Mexican food.
Specifically?
Sorry, what?
Like, what specifically about Mexican food? Do you have, like...
I like the flavor and the spiciness of Mexican food. I really like ethnic food, so Indian food, Greek food, so foods that are kind of have stronger flavors.
Okay, can you give me, like, specific foods?
Ooh, let's see. I love enchiladas.
Okay.
Greek, I love feta cheese and like Greek salads with calamansi olives and feta cheese and salads like that. Indian food, I love their like chicken curries that they make. And naan bread is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, what else do I really love? I love breakfast food. I love omelets and pancakes, especially grandma's pancakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say probably like ethnic foods, and I love breakfast food.
All right. What do you consider the healthiest foods?
What do I consider the healthy? Just out of any types of food?
Yes.
I would say vegetables.
Okay. Is that it?
Fruit. Fried fruit and vegetables. And also, what else? I also really like simple foods that aren't quite as mixed up with stuff. So like a raw salad, just like just kind of simple, where you don't have a ton of different ingredients.
Okay. Yeah, so for the favorite foods that you mentioned, how often do you eat these foods?
Probably like maybe once a week.
Okay.
Or twice a week. I'll make a quesadilla or a burrito or something like that at home, which is kind of Mexican food, or sort of a feta salad.
Okay.
Pretty frequently.
Now for your foods that we might not consider as healthy, so maybe, pancakes or pastries or, even sometimes like enchiladas with a lot of cheese or whatever. Do you ever consider making these foods using healthier substitute ingredients so you can eat them, so you feel like you can eat them more often?
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. I made pancakes the other day with like bananas.
Oh, great.
And they were really weird, but I felt a lot healthier eating them.
Okay.
Or also make enchiladas and just not put as much cheese on them. Or pastries. Pastries are pretty unhealthy either way you go. But sometimes I'll use, like whole wheat flour or just reduce the amount of sugar.
Okay, cool. Great answer.
please briefly describe your current diet or your goal diet plan. Whatever diet plan you follow.
My current diet plan. I don't really know if I have a current diet plan. I kind of just eat when I get hungry.
Okay,
although I'm pretty bad now
fine.
because my work schedule is crazy.
Yeah,
I have breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
that's good.
Normally for breakfast, I'll have oatmeal and coffee. And for lunch, I'll have a salad or a sandwich. And I have a lot of green tea throughout the day and a lot more coffee. And then for dinner, I'll make let's see, I make a lot of different things for dinner. I'll make a salad a lot of the times, or sandwiches, or a pasta. Yeah, probably something like that.
Okay.
I don't really follow, a certain amount of calories
No, right, okay.
or anything like that.
Great. In what form do you most often eat your vegetables?
Raw.
Okay.
I eat them pretty raw in a salad, or else just carrots and ranch or hummus or something.
How often do you cook with all-purpose flour?
Actually, not that often. The only time I use all-purpose flour is, when I bake something. But I actually have started cooking a lot more than I bake.
Right, okay. So, can you give me any approximation as to how often you think?
Probably maybe once a week.
Okay. Okay, here we go. So what is your initial reaction, the first thing that comes to your head, whatever phrase or thought, when you first hear the words vegetable flour?
Interesting.
That's most people's response. So that's completely fine.
Vegetable flour. Huh. What kind of vegetables?
Anything that you can freeze dry and grind up into a flour substance. So has this...
I think that could be really good for if you were to use that flour with like chicken. I don't know how that would work for like pastries, like sweet.
Yeah, not for pastries, but maybe like for pizza dough or...
Oh, pizza dough. That would be cool. That would be super cool. Like cauliflower flour.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, I've made a pizza once with cauliflower kind of ground up.
Yeah, I thought
it was really good.
I've made them too. I think it's good too. I even made I made a quiche with cauliflower crust. It was so good.
Oh wow. Wow, that's a good idea. Or else like zucchini bread.
Right.
You have to use zucchini flour.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really good.
So has this thought of freeze-dried vegetable flour ever crossed your mind? Have you ever thought, oh, maybe you could freeze-dry vegetables, grind them up, and make flour?
No.
Okay. All right, next question. When you consider flour substitutes, which substitutes do you usually think of?
Whole wheat flour.
Okay. Have you ever done any research on substitutes for all-purpose flour?
For other types of flour?
Yeah, just online or whatever.
Yeah, I have. I've looked up like coconut flour or almond flour, stuff like that.
And you just type that into Google, basically?
Pinterest. Yeah, Pinterest has everything.
No, it does. I love Pinterest.
Me too. We frequently pin the same things. I'll pin what you pin, then you pin what I pin.
I see something and I just think of you. Or
yeah.
Anyway, what flour substitutes, if any, do you purchase?
Let's see. I'll do almond flour.
Okay.
I've also done whole wheat flour. I think that's about it, though.
Okay, that's fine. If so, where do you purchase them?
At a store?
More specifically, like.
Probably, I don't know, Fred Meyer's, Safeway.
Okay. Do you have a favorite brand that you know of?
I don't think so. I just normally get whatever's the cheapest.
Okay. Okay, so you kind of already answered this question, but could you see yourself using vegetable flour in place of other flour in your cooking? For example, cauliflower crust pizza instead of traditional white flour dough pizza.
Definitely.
Cool. All right. I'm going to ask you some scenario questions.
Okay.
So just answer them how you would behave in this scenario. If you had to buy a 2-pound bag of flour, would you pay $3 for the name brand or $2 for the generic brand?
The generic brand.
Okay. Okay, here's the next scenario question. If the generic brand costs $2 and the name brand costs $3 for that 2-pound bag of all-purpose flour, how much would you spend for a 2-pound bag of your favorite substitute flour? So that's like whole wheat or almond.
I would definitely pay more.
Okay.
Don't know exactly how much. Let's see. The regular name brand is $3. I'd probably pay like $4.
Okay.
$4 or $5.
4 to 5, perfect. If a 2-pound, okay, here's the last one. If a 2-pound bag of your preferred substitute flour, so let's say almond flour, if a 2-pound bag of that costs $10, would you pay $15 for roughly the same amount of vegetable flour? Be honest.
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Okay, the next set of questions.
If it was $10 for vegetable flour also, I would probably do that.
So if it was the same amount as your...
Yeah, almond flour.
Okay, that's really helpful. Do you ever shop for groceries online?
No. Okay. Although I'm now getting into catering, where I order stuff for catering online, but I haven't done personal grocery shopping online.
What products do you typically buy online?
Clothes.
Okay.
Anything off of Amazon, books. I get books online, clothes online. I don't know, any special like skin products, like face masks or something on Amazon. I don't know.
I hope you have
random stuff Amazon has.
I hope you have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth it. Do you usually pay debit or credit or cash?
Debit.
Debit. Okay. Who do you consult before making a larger than normal purchase?
I might talk to my parents about it, or like a friend, but I typically will just think through it and buy it myself.
Okay. So you just self-reason. All right. Last set of questions. Sorry this is taking so much time.
No, it's okay.
When the cashier rings up your total cost at the grocery store, do you ever hesitate to pay it or just think twice about it?
If it's like seems overpriced, or if it seems like, wow, oh my gosh, that's so expensive, then I will. But if it, if it's like over $100, I'll sometimes think twice about like, wow, why is it so expensive? But typically I pay it because I know how much the items were that I purchased.
Right. Okay. If you didn't have enough money to cover the cost at checkout, what would be the first thing you'd ask the cashier to remove?
Alcohol.
All right.
Or else maybe one of the things that just isn't necessary for right then.
Okay. Do you ever regret spending a few extra dollars on a name brand product? Doesn't matter if it's groceries or whatever.
I don't think I've actually. No, I don't think I've regretted spending money on a name brand, because if I'm going to spend money on it and I'm decided to spend money on it, there's a reason I spent money on it, and I must just like it better. So I don't normally regret my purchase decisions.
Okay. So after you purchase, this is you kind of answered a little bit. After you purchase something, do you continually think about the purchase?
No.
Okay, that's a good thing. What about if you purchase something online and you're kind of waiting for it to be shipped and whatnot? Do you ever keep thinking about the purchase?
Yeah, because I'm waiting for it to get to my house.
Okay. But basically just solely for that reason?
Yeah, I don't normally think about whether or not I should have spent the money.
Okay. Sounds like you do a lot of your reasoning before you purchase.
Yeah.
Which is good. All right, 2 more.
Yep, that's what I do.
Are you someone who hangs on to receipts and keeps the tags on purchased items until you use them?
No.
Okay. And last question. How do you differentiate between a good purchase and a bad purchase?
I figure out if it's really necessary or not. So, yeah, I ask myself, is it necessary?
All right. Great answer. Well, thank you so much for answering all of my questions.
You are very welcome, Lauren Perry.
All right. Well, I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions.
Okay.
And just answer them as honestly as you can. And throughout the interview, I'll sort of give you an idea of the product that I've had the idea for, and then whether or not you think it'd be a good idea. So the first question is, what are the top 3 concerns or aspects in your life? Or they don't have to be the top 3, just what are you most concerned about in your life?
What am I most concerned about in my life? My family. My relationship with God. Actually, that's number 1. My relationship with God, my family, my health.
Okay. What are a few of your favorite foods now and growing up, despite how healthy or unhealthy they are for you?
Ice cream.
That's my first.
Yeah, oranges. Tacos.
And tacos, okay. Do you ever crave any really high carbohydrate foods, such as pizza, pasta, pastries, stuff like that?
All the time.
Okay. What's your favorite? If you had one high carb bread, okay.
Oh, one high carb food, probably bread.
Okay. Okay. What do you consider the healthiest foods?
Broccoli.
Okay. How often do you eat your favorite foods or the foods that you crave? How often do you eat them? Yeah, sure.
Okay. Probably once a week.
Okay. Do you ever consider making these foods, either your favorite foods or your craving foods? Do you ever consider making them using healthier ingredients so you can eat them more often?
I can eat them more often. Um, yeah, I do. Like ice cream, I would try to think of substitutes for that.
Okay.
Like I've tried to freeze yogurt before, if it's out of the container that I know is okay, or tacos, making it out of turkey instead of beef.
Okay.
Bread, I don't have a good answer for that one.
Okay.
Straight out bread. Well, except, I have done spelt, whatever it is.
What is it?
Spelt, it's SPELT is the grain.
Okay.
I make bread out of now.
Huh.
I don't know if it's any lower carbs
Okay.
at all, but I got it. Yeah.
All right, the next question. Please briefly describe your current diet or goal diet plan.
My current diet,
Yeah.
well, it's very boring. It's yogurt and almonds in the morning. Vegetables for lunch with a protein bar. And dinner is a pile of vegetables, like a pile of broccoli and green salad with some kind of protein, like salmon or a hamburger patty or some turkey, something like that.
Okay.
And that's because I'm pre-diabetic, or so really I have to be pretty careful.
And because you're pre-diabetic, what foods do you stay away from?
I stay away from sweets, like I would prefer to simply eat cookies all day.
Right. Like us all.
Yeah, you can relate. So I would eat cookies and cake and pie and candy, things I would normally early in my life would eat a lot of that.
Okay.
I have to be really careful about that.
Okay.
Milkshakes,
Okay.
ice cream.
Is there any other, besides sweets, is there any other foods that you try
Bread,
to
I'm
avoid?
supposed to be very low in carbs, so I love bread, just fresh bread.
Yeah.
I could eat half a loaf out of the oven, but I just rarely have a slice of bread.
Okay. So looks like you eat most of your food or most of your vegetables in salad, or do you boil them at night for dinner?
Yeah, I just steam them or I roast them.
Okay. How often do you cook with all-purpose flour?
Maybe once a week.
Okay. What do you usually use it for?
Sometimes a baking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is your initial reaction or the first thing that comes to your mind, a phrase or just a thought? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear the words vegetable flour?
Vegetable flour?
Yes.
Good idea.
Okay. Has the thought of freeze-dried vegetable flour ever crossed your mind?
No, I've never thought of that.
Okay. So basically, my idea is, I'm sure you've tried it with Allison before, or you've known that she's tried it. Have you ever made cauliflower crust pizza?
I have not. I'd like to learn how to do that, but never have. I've
Yeah.
heard of it.
I was talking to Allison about it, and we've both done it. I think it tastes great, but my idea is it's actually quite a process of grinding up the cauliflower and draining it and whatnot. So my idea is to freeze dry cauliflower and then mill it into flour and package it so it's just a lot easier. You just add an egg and water, and you have cauliflower dough.
I think that's a great idea, Lauren.
So they've
Great idea.
there's a company that's
Is
actually
anybody doing that yet?
no, there's a company that actually has started doing it with bananas. They take bananas that are green so that the sugar content or the bananas haven't gained their sugar content yet, and they freeze dry the bananas and then they mill them into flour, and people use that for like baking pastries and stuff like that. So this would be more for like cooking. So you can make your own homemade pasta, your own homemade dough, different stuff like that. I mean, so no,
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I looked it up, and there isn't a company that's doing it. So, and then I would try to see how many like different vegetables it could work for. So.
Right, and the nice thing about cauliflower is it's kind of, in a way, sort of tasteless, right? So it's
right.
You use it for a lot of different things.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fabulous idea. So where do they do freeze? Where is freeze drying done? So could you try it out?
I don't know. See, I haven't really looked into the logistics of it, but it's just sort of developing that idea at this point. Probably later this semester in my entrepreneurship class, we'll start figuring out the logistics of our idea.
Yeah, because I know there's like commercial kitchens around that you can rent, or you can package things. There's some place in Milk Freewater where they make, I think, jam or something like that. But that's a great idea, because I can see myself doing that. The idea, you're tired at the end of the day, you've had a really long work day. The last thing you want to have to do is spend a lot of time cooking something that takes a lot of steps. And if it was already ready to go, like you say, just stick it in a bowl, mix up whatever you need to mix up with it, and whammo. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. Thank you. All right, so a next set of questions. When you consider flour substitutes, which substitutes do you typically think of?
Flour substitutes?
Just all-purpose flour substitutes.
Well, really nothing comes to mind there, Lauren, because I haven't really done anything. I mean, I know there's these non-gluten flours, but that'd be about it.
Okay.
That would be it, because like if I go to Andy's, I can buy non-gluten flour.
Right. Have you done any, or do you do any research on flour substitutes before buying any, if you do buy them?
No.
Okay. So then you probably don't purchase any flour substitutes.
No.
Okay.
Well, the only thing would be like almond flour.
Yeah.
I have purchased almond flour.
Okay. And where do you purchase it from?
I've gotten it from Trader Joe's and also from Andy's.
Okay. Do you have a favorite brand?
Boy, I don't. I think
Okay.
it just comes in bulk at Andy's.
Oh, you buy it in
I
bulk?
don't remember what's on the bag at Trader Joe's.
Okay. Well, it might just be like Trader Joe's brand.
Yeah, it probably is.
Okay.
Look.
Oh, no, don't worry about it. All right, the next set of questions, they're going to be kind of scenario questions.
Okay.
So just answer how you would behave in these certain scenarios. If you had to buy a 2-pound bag of flour, would you pay $3 for the name brand or $2 for the generic brand?
$2 for the generic.
Okay. And the next question is, if the generic brand costs $2 and the name brand costs $3 for this 2-pound bag of all-purpose flour, how much would you spend for a 2-pound bag of your favorite substitute flour?
Probably $5.
Okay. And then, if a 2-pound bag of substitute flour, so your favorite substitute flour, if it costs $10, would you pay $15 for the same amount of vegetable flour?
If it costs $10, would you pay $15? I probably would to at least try it. And
Okay.
then see how I like it. So I'd probably be willing to try it out
Okay.
at that price. Because that now 3 times what I was saying I would do, right? I said $5
Yeah.
half away. So I would try it out.
Okay.
I'd feel more comfortable if it was 10, like double my price.
Okay.
I'd still try it out.
So you'd feel more comfortable if it was the same as, because I said the 2-pound bag of your substitute flour costs 10. Would you feel more comfortable if the vegetable flour costs the same amount?
Yeah. Okay. But I definitely try it out at 15, so I would buy it.
Okay.
And see how it works.
All right. Do you ever shop for groceries online?
No.
Okay. What products do you typically buy online?
No, I don't buy. What do I buy online?
Yeah.
Let's see. Clothing, shoes.
Where do you usually buy them from?
Amazon.
It's the universal answer.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Zappos.
Okay. Do you usually pay debit, credit, or cash?
Credit.
Who do you consult, or do you consult anyone before making a larger than average purchase?
No, I don't consult.
Okay. All right, the last set of questions. We're almost done.
That's okay.
When the cashier rings up your total cost at the grocery store, do you ever hesitate to pay it or think twice?
No.
Okay. If you didn't have enough money to cover the cost at checkout, what would be the first thing you'd ask the cashier to remove?
Oh, some kind of a item I knew I shouldn't have bought in the first place. Like if I had a candy in there and I knew I shouldn't have bought it, I'd take it out.
Okay. Do you ever regret spending a few extra dollars on a name product or a name brand product?
No. But there would have been some reason that I bought it.
That was exactly Allison's answer.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Because if I bought it, I would have thought I got it. There would have been some reason.
Okay. After you purchase something, do you continually think about the purchase?
I continually think about it. No.
Okay. What about if you purchase something online? Do you continue? No? Okay.
Do I continually think about it? No.
Okay.
You mean, does that mean before I receive it or just once I get it?
Either.
Oh, yeah. No, not really.
Okay. Are you someone who hangs on to receipts and keeps the tags on purchased items until you use them?
Yeah.
Okay. And then the last question. How do you differentiate between a good purchase and a bad purchase?
Quality of it. How well it lived up to my expectations.
Okay, perfect.
Like, let's take your flour. Like, if it on the package, if it said great for X, Y, and Z or something like that, then was it actually great for X, Y, and Z? Did it live up to my expectations?
All right.
However it was promoted.
Gotcha. Well, that was the last question, so thank you so much for answering them.
Oh, yeah. No, I think it's a great idea, Lord. I hope you actually pursue